When you hear stories about people getting rich, it often feels like it happened overnight. Someone bought the right stock at the right time, or they invested in a piece of technology nobody believed in, and suddenly their wealth exploded. But here's the truth. Wealth doesn't just happen by luck. It happens because people put their money into the right assets at the right time. And right now, there are certain assets that are making people rich. Some of them are classic and time-tested investments. Others are newer, riskier, but with massive potential. So, in this eye-opening video, we're going to break down the 5 assets making people rich today, why they are growing, and what you should know before diving in. Alright, let's kick things off with stocks, especially in the technology sector. Even though the stock market has its ups and downs, tech companies are still driving innovation and wealth creation. Think artificial intelligence, cloud computing, or cybersecurity. Companies leading in these areas are seeing massive growth, and investors who position themselves early are reaping the rewards. So stocks remain one of the most common ways people are building wealth right now, especially when they focus on long-term growth industries. Second, let's talk about real estate. Even though interest rates have been higher in recent years, property ownership continues to be one of the most reliable wealth building tools. Why? Because real estate offers both appreciation over time and the ability to generate passive income through rent. In cities where demand for housing keeps rising, investors are seeing their property values increase while tenants effectively pay down their mortgages. And people who got into real estate at the right time are watching their net worth climb steadily. Now, we cannot ignore cryptocurrencies. Love them or hate them, crypto has created more millionaires in the last decade than almost any other asset. Bitcoin and Ethereum remain the giants, but newer projects tied to decentralized finance, smart contracts, and even tokenized real-world assets are giving investors massive returns. Of course, crypto is volatile. Prices can skyrocket or crash overnight, but those who have managed the risks and stayed patient have seen life-changing gains. For many young investors, crypto is the single most exciting asset class of our time. Private businesses and startups. More and more wealth is being built by people investing in or creating companies that solve real problems. Think about health tech, green energy, fintech, and AI-driven platforms. Early investors in these businesses are seeing exponential returns as startups scale and attract bigger funding rounds. The catch here is that private business investing isn't always accessible to everyone. But for those who can get in, it is one of the fastest ways to build wealth today. Finally, let's look at something often overlooked: index funds and ETFs. They might not sound exciting compared to crypto or startups, but index funds are quietly making people rich through consistency and compounding. By tracking the performance of major markets like the S&P 500, index funds offer steady long-term growth with lower risk than betting on a single company. The wealth doesn't come overnight, but the compounding effort can turn regular contributions into serious money. And this is how many everyday investors are building wealth without taking huge risks.